The Penguins trade Matt Murray to the Ottawa Senators in exchange for a second-round pick in today's draft and prospect Jonathan Gruden. I don't think this shocked anybody. We all knew this was going to happen. It was just a matter of when, and it pretty much confirmed it when the Penguins re-signed Tristan Jarry just a few days ago. Let's just get straight into it. I want to say that I actually really like this trade for both teams. From the Penguins' perspective, you're just getting rid of a goalie that you do not need anymore. You've made your decision with who you're going with, so they're just getting rid of Murray for a second-round pick and a prospect. And for Ottawa's perspective, they're giving up practically nothing compared to how many picks they had in this year's draft and how many prospects they have. And they're getting themselves a two-time Stanley Cup champion goalie, 26 years old. If he works out with them, that's your starting goalie for the next at least 10 years. Now let's talk about what the Penguins get back in this trade. Now, my favorite part about this trade is the fact that they actually got a second-round pick. I thought we were going to have to settle for a third and a prospect. For me, the second-round pick is all I would have wanted. The fact that they got an actual prospect along with it, for me, is a bonus. Let's start with the prospect, Jonathan Gruden. The Ottawa Senators drafted him in the 4th round in the 2018 draft. From there, he played 1 year in college before making the move to go play in the OHL last year, where he had a great season, putting up over point per game, 66 points in 59 games, 30 goals. And because he just turned 20 years old, he's allowed to play in the AHL next year, where he will be playing his first rookie season in the North American League with Wilkes-Barre. Just from reading about him, the player I can describe him to from the team that we have right now, I'd say like a Brian Rust. He'll never wow you with his crazy talent, but he's a hard worker, hard to knock off the puck, good skater, as I'm reading here. And they say he's not bad defensively either, which can help if he projects to be a bottom 6 player, which is what I think he'll be on this team. If he does make the NHL ever in his lifetime, I think he'll be a solid third liner, like I said, a solid secondary scoring depth option, good defensively, so he won't be a liability. So definitely not a bad player to pick up, but what I like the most is the second-round pick. And with the second-round pick, 52nd overall, the Penguins draft goaltender Joel Blumfist. When I first saw this, I was a little bit confused. What, another goalie? Do we really need another goalie? But then I sat back and realized, wait a minute, our goalie prospect pool is getting thin. 3-4 years ago, we were stacked with goaltenders. We had Fleury as our starter, 2 solid young prospects in Murray and Jarry. Just drafted Philip Gustafsson, who was supposed to be a solid starter, elite type goalie. Here we are now, Fleury gone, Murray just traded, Gustafsson traded a few years ago. We're just left with Tristan Jarry, who I think will be a solid goalie for the years to come. But it's never a bad thing to have goalies coming up, just like the Penguins been having for the last few years. This guy has great potential, and I'd say at worst, he's a backup goalie, and that's at worst, which is pretty good. I think this guy can actually replace Tristan Jarry in the future when you get to that point. He played with one of Finland's junior teams, and in 34 games with them, he put up a .931 save percentage. He even got the chance to play in 2 games in Finland's top men's league, which is something very rare for a teenage goalie. He also played 3 games for Finland in the Gretzky Cup, where he put up a .919 save percentage. So with everything that I'm reading here, now I know why he's been drafted this high in the 2nd round. He's been putting up great numbers all year long for Finland. I say within the next 2 years, this guy's gonna be working his way up to play in Finland's top men's league and stay there, and you'll face older competition, and that would be the best way to transition him into the AHL when he turns 20 years old. The hardest transition for prospects is when they go from the CHL to the AHL, because you're going from playing with kids your own age or even kids younger than you to going to playing with men in the AHL, especially for goalies, because you're going from kids shooting on you to full-on grown men shooting on you. That's a tough transition, which is why the best thing for him is going to Finland's top men league, because the transition won't be tough at all going from there to the AHL. From there, he'll be 20 years old, playing in his rookie season with Wilkes-Barre. Honestly, we don't know what will happen from there. He could be like Tristan Jarry, who needs a few years in the AHL with a few call-ups to the NHL team, back and forth. Or he could be like Matt Murray and come in his rookie season, dominate everything, and then be forced in his next season to be called up because he's way too good for the AHL, and by 22, he's playing in the NHL as a starting goalie. Now, that is very unlikely, which is why it was so surprising when Matt Murray did it. I think he'll take the Tristan Jarry approach, and pretty much every goalie's approach. He'll probably spend a few seasons in the AHL team, where he'll have his ups and downs, of course, get a few call-ups in the NHL with injuries and all that, until I'd say he's about 22, 23, even maybe 24, where he's able to fully take over as the starter, because that's what I personally think his ceiling is. So that's pretty much it. And like I said, I like this trade. For those who want more in this trade, well, what else can you get, right? Murray's value is dropping. He's coming off of a pretty bad season, and there was also other goalies available, so you couldn't sell high on Murray because nobody would bite on that, because you would just go get another goalie on another team. It got to the point where they were pretty much just trying to get rid of Murray. They found their partner. They got 2 solid prospects. I don't mind it at all. They have their goaltender set for next year, Tristan Jarry and Casey DeSmith. They got $4.7 $27 million in cap space that they can use in free agency. And before I wrap it up, I just wanted to take a moment here and actually thank Matt Murray. Obviously, the fans were very hard on him over the last 2 years, but his efforts to winning those back-to-back cups will never be forgotten. Especially what he did as a rookie, coming up at 21 years old, playing at an elite level in the playoffs, helping the Penguins win not only 1 but 2 cups as a rookie. I'm definitely going to be cheering on Matt Murray, and I wish him the best with Ottawa. I hope he finds his elite form again, and I hope he does something special with Ottawa, because the way he was treated over the last 2 years from the fan base was honestly embarrassing. I wish him the best in Ottawa, and I thank him for his time here, but that's going to be it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Do you like the trade? Just let me know how you're feeling in the comments, and stay tuned. I will be making a video shortly just giving my thoughts on the Penguins draft. But until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.